Now, I just got back from a fun, exciting film that I want to talk about today. I'll make this short, and I will mention a lot of what I liked about this film. I'll wait until the end to tell you what I didn't like about Top Gun Maverick. Hi, I'm Rob, and this is A Constantly Racing Mind. Once again, I went to the theater early on a Sunday morning, hoping to avoid the crowds. However, once again, the theater was packed. The age of the crowd, I must say, was older, around my age, which is about a year younger than the star of the film, Tom Cruise. I'm going to tell you right now that I like Tom Cruise's films. I can honestly say I have been watching this guy for over 40 years. I like most of his work, some more than others, whether it was his over-the-top performances in Mission Impossible films or the various sci-fi films he has done in the past, from Minority Report, War of the Worlds, Edge of Tomorrow, and Oblivion, which was directed by Joseph Kosinski, who also directed Top Gun Maverick. Why was there so many people in the theater this weekend? Memorial Day? Was it a Tom Cruise film? Probably. I think I speak for my generation. Nostalgia. Seeing an iconic character coming back to the big screen and giving us an update on what has happened in the last 36 years. But that's not all. It also welcomes a new generation into the Top Gun franchise. Your typical Tom Cruise film usually starts with Tom, whose character starts out as a cocky and brash and undergoes a journey of understanding and growth as a person. His character, that is, not Tom. You see this in all of his films, but I thought it was more pronounced in Rain Man and in the original Top Gun. The film opens with a thank you from Tom Cruise himself. He is thanking us for waiting to see the film in the theater, where we as an audience can experience what the production crew and the cast want us to experience. The film in all its glory. The film was originally set to open in 2019, I think, then delayed due to COVID, and now is, I think, the perfect timing for this summer blockbuster. He isn't wrong. Hey, if this is your first time here, we celebrate sci-fi, horror, action-adventure, pop culture, and all things geek. Please subscribe and help the channel grow. Now, in this film, Tom isn't exactly this cocky kid he once was, but a cocky test pilot who has avoided the mistake that would get him kicked out of the pilot seat. Think of Captain Kirk, who accepted promotion that took him away from his beloved Enterprise. No, instead he spent the last 36 years pissing off admirals, which got him transferred but kept him in the pilot seat. Instead of getting booted from the Navy, his benefactor, Admiral Tom Iceman Kosinski, has been his advocate since their friendship began when they took on the Russian MiGs 36 years ago. It is this friendship with Iceman that has kept Captain Peter Mitchell going, and like the James Bond character, time and technology has moved on, and he has not. Val Kilmer returns to the role as Iceman, but as a dying admiral. In real life, Kilmer has been battling throat cancer and adds a touching plot point to the Maverick character. As we have moved past the Cold War, you think, in which the original film was set in, the enemy has changed and the weapons have changed. The F-14s are obsolete, sold as surplus to who at the time were allies of the United States and are now relics that other countries use. However, today's enemies are the Iranians, who in the terms of the story has stockpiled nuclear material against the terms of the treaties set in place years ago. Now, the mission, which Maverick has no choice but to accept, is to train a group of pilots to take on this impossible mission. See what I did there? So if you saw any of the trailers, Mitchell is called back to Top Gun in San Diego. Having been relegated to the Mojave Desert for the last several years, he was flying experimental planes. The naval brass wants to use the research dollars for guided missiles or something. He is told that the pilots are obsolete and drones and missile systems are the big things. But Maverick endures, motorcycles and leather jacket as well. The group of pilots are all Top Gun graduates, and the admiral he is reporting to is a Top Gun alum from a class a few years after his, Admiral Bo Cyclone Simpson, played by John Hamm. Yes, all the pilots have either retired or have been promoted to admiral by now. Not Mitchell. After reporting for duty and learning of his mission, he reports to the local Oceanside bar. You know, the bar where he and his radar intercept officer, Lieutenant Junior Grade Nick Goose Bradshaw, played in the original, by Anthony Edwards. In the 1986 film, he plays Great Balls of Fire on the piano in a rousing sing-along. We'll get back to that in a moment. Now, the bar is owned by Penny, Maverick's new love interest, or is she an old love interest? Apparently, according to lore, she was an admiral's daughter, only mentioned in Top Gun, but one who got him in trouble with her father. In the film, Penny is played by Jennifer Connelly. His goal is not to lead the mission, but only to train the team for a mission that is eerily familiar, running as low to the ground and through a canyon and sending a missile to an exhaust port no larger than a womp rat, and escape before the enemy is alerted and they have to fly past missile launchers. Now, another plot point which brings the story around is the fact that his partner's son is part of the team. Miles Teller plays and looks the part of Goose's son down to the hair and mustache, and he can knock out the same rousing version of Jerry Lee Lewis's classic as well as his dad. His call sign is Rooster, a bird, like his father, a goose. This brings to mind the PTSD that apparently Mitchell still suffers from all these years since. Not to mention as a promise to Goose's wife, played by Meg Ryan in the original, who is apparently dead in this film, he pulled Rooster's Naval Academy application, setting his career back by 4 years. Not the reckless go-it-alone pilot he once was, Maverick's goal is to teach the team their weaknesses and then build the skills in 3 weeks or less before the Iranians go live, and most importantly to him, to return them all back home alive. Like the original, the training scenes are intense, and in this case, and fun to watch. And as Mitchell is struggling with his pilots' egos, rivalry between them all to lead the mission, and the fact that they have not worked as a team before, it was the memory of his old friend Iceman that inspired him to have the pilots play touch football as a team, to have them bond. So more nostalgia for the audience, not only for the fans, but more importantly to drive the story and to install camaraderie. Sort of like the volleyball scene did in the original. Apparently, it was necessary for each actor to film themselves in the cockpits of their planes. Not that they flew them, but with the camera on them only, and the movie was filmed with mostly just practical in-camera effects. The actors were left to their own devices. The result is exuberating. Now, Tom can act. There's no doubt about that. He explains some of the same confidence of his own abilities, but with the wisdom of experience and of the growth his character has experienced over the years. Or is that really more Tom Cruise's experience and wisdom that he's gained over the years? Now, this is supposed to be a sequel, but seems more like a reboot. But we'll see. The climax and the ending I won't spoil, but it is... I have no words other than the crowd cheered. The soundtrack by Lauren Ballfius with songs from Lady Gaga, and of course Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone appears early in the film. The director Joseph Kosinski, as I mentioned before, directed Cruise in Oblivion, another sci-fi epic I recommend. He also directed the long-awaited sequel to the 1980s Tron. So go see Top Gun Maverick as soon as you can, in the theater. Wear a mask if you have to, a hazmat suit if necessary. It was worth the 36-year wait. The film runs 2 hours and 11 minutes and is rated PG-13. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. My biggest gripe about the film is that Tom Cruise has no gray hair. I'm a year younger than Mr. Cruise, and look at me. Oh yeah, like in all of his films, Tom runs. He runs a lot. So thanks for watching. Click here, right here, for more movie fun.